Warning! The following program is designed for entertainment purposes only. The guys have no clue what they are talking about, and any correct predictions made are completely luck. The opinions expressed are those of the Fired Up Sports Network, and if you are offended, boo-hoo. Now enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Week 8 of the TailGate. Myself, Joe Algieri, along with my illustrious co-hosts, the one and only Jeff Scarola. He's very outspoken. And the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Billy Punch. Billy, how is everything going, sir?
It's a good Sunday morning, everybody. What is going on?
It is. We're a week away from first games in Germany next week. Big games in Germany. Your boys are in Germany next week, right? Right, Jeff?
Next week, they're in Germany.
Dolphins. What a game! What a game to put overseas.
Well, they have to. They got to show up this. Like they're on fraud watch, and they have to beat the Chiefs. If they beat the Chiefs, you'll start getting taken more seriously. The Chiefs are the best team in the league right now, so you beat them, and now we're gonna have some. So at least we'll have something to hang our hats on.
I get that.
Jalen Ramsey back too, also gonna help.
That will definitely help. That's definitely gonna help. But speaking of fraud alert, let's recap. We're gonna do the show a little bit differently. Normally we have our top 10, right? But because the NFL likes to flag our videos on YouTube, we are going to not do those anymore, and those are going to be exclusively on our brand new TikTok channel. Make sure you follow us on TikTok at Fired Up Sports Network. You're going to get all of our little Jimmy Duckets, as well as our top 10. Everyone's going to be on TikTok. You should join, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't know.
Guys,
right,
we officially made it. We got flagged by the NFL. That's a big fucking deal.
That's absolutely. Well, hold on. What time?
He just said a big word.
Wow, it's 11:05 Sunday morning, and Billy dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah.
The NFL brings it out in all of us. What can we say?
Wow.
Right.
This is like a proud parent moment. But yeah, let's talk about fraud alert. Jeff, you mentioned your Dolphins. The other one, no surprise, AFC East. Okay, the Buffalo Bills. Listen, I mean, this team Thursday night did not look great, I guess. I mean, I know if you ask, Frankie, put Josh Allen in Canton now because it was the greatest single-handed performance of, any quarterback in history. But, this team does not just they have it on paper. They're not putting it on the field.
It's typical Buffalo Bills, man. They play to their opponents, and that's all they do, and that's all they ever do. And I mean, Frankie, at this point, he speaks to hear himself talk, I think, because he's the only one listening at this point. It's total nonsense what you hear. But Buffalo, they're just bad. They're not even Josh Allen. What did he throw for 324? I think.
Well,
Yeah, he threw for 324, completed 78% of his passes, but.
Defense took hits. They got injured. So, like, I understand. Like, they lost that big-time linebacker. You know, like, they lose a safety. They lose a corner. Like, they're hurt. So, I get it. But Josh Allen is only targeting Diggs, which is a problem. I mean, he kind of changed up a little bit this week, but, you know, on Thursday. But in reality, that guy is just looking for Diggs, and that's it. So, that can also take away. But I don't think they're as good as everyone makes them seem to be. I don't think they're that good at all.
I mean, that's the thing right there, Jeff. The offense has been on a 2-year decline without Brian Dable. The defense, I think the Buffalo defense is fine. I don't, they have their glitches. Yeah, last week they let the Patriots back down the field and everything. Like,
but
that's part of football
against them. Like and the Patriots aren't very good.
But
they
look
goddamn good.
I know, but you see the decline. That offense has been on a downward spiral for the last 2 years. And they look good only against bad defenses.
I just think to Jeff's point, I just think that, like,
we're stuck on the memory.
No, it's. I mean, yeah. I think the memory of that game really is definitely a defining moment for Josh Allen's legacy. I guess you want.
He's not running nearly as much. Like
no, and I think. Listen, I really think that the issues with Stephon Diggs earlier in the season, I don't think those are resolved issues. I still think that this is an underlying issue. And to your point, I think this is why he's targeting him. He's like almost force feeding him the ball. So I mean, it's tough because if I'm not mistaken, I mean, Billy, if you can, or I'll do it right now. I'm curious, right? In that loss to the Patriots, Diggs had 12 targets. Okay, 12 of the 41 attempts by Allen went to Diggs. Okay, of which he only caught 6, and it's 58 passes. Guys, that you're catching half your passes, and Bill Belichick does what he does better than anybody else. He takes away your best option. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it can't be that Belichick's the only one that notices that, like, literally he's force-feeding Diggs. You got Gabe Davis. You got an unbelievable tight end in Kincaid, and I'm fucking annoyed because I drafted James Cook thinking, like, yeah, this kid's going to fucking go. And I don't think he's broken 70 yards once.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not really – I don't think he's getting enough chances at it. That's the problem.
He's not. You see, every week it's like he plays one of every 4 series. That's the sad part about this team. They have the fucking weapons. The weapons are there. They have Gabe Davis. They have Diggs. They have Kincaid, Cook, Shamir. They have the weapons there, and they just don't execute.
Isn't it Shakir?
Shakir, yeah.
Want to make sure, just checking.
We're gonna have to hit the dump button on Billy soon, man. We're gonna have to have the little.
Yeah, we're gonna have to drop a censor button soon.
Yeah.
I mean, but listen, let's also, let's not discredit Tampa Bay, right? I don't want to completely shit on Buffalo and make it look like, I mean, listen, whatever, we could say they're overrated and yada yada yada. Tampa Bay kept themselves in this game, for a team that before the season not a lot of people gave a chance. Baker Mayfield is, and I think Jeff, I don't know who was it said last someone said it last week. Baker Mayfield is like now this generation's right.
Oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I said that last.
And I thought that was a great take. Listen, he goes 25 for 42, 237, 2 touchdowns. He's keeping them in the game. Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, they're 3-4. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're only a game out. A
Well,
game
they're
out.
one of the worst divisions ever. Like that, like every team's up for grabs in that. Like that, anyone can win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're one game. They're one game back. And
They're one game. Yeah, I was curious. Maybe you guys know, but I know that there's some sort of streak going on with the NFC South, right? That basically I think it's whoever finishes last goes on to win the division the following year or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Like there's like this. There's definitely a repetitive nature.
I mean, if that's a streak, we could say it's not going to continue this year because Carolina is not going to go on to win that division, and we know their asses are finishing in last place.
Listen, I have definitely seen stupider shit happen.
No,
I'm not going to lie to you.
Absolutely,
I've seen stupider shit happen. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
I think Carolina's and they're losing their first round pick, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Chicago's sitting. I mean, right now, Chicago's sitting with 2 of the top 3 picks.
Yep.
Because Arizona would hold on to one of those 2 picks.
Bye, Justin Fields.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think the plans anyway, and it sucks because I think he was starting to really get going.
But the kid stood no chance. You know, look at how many and he's not the only one.
Succeeds there, man. What would McMahon, the last guy that succeeded there, and Rex Grossman, I guess maybe. But
I would say Cutler succeeded there.
Well, no, he really didn't though.
I mean, listen, the problem is like, and
I'm a Cutler guy. I love Cutler.
And this is a lot like this is with every sport, right? You know, honestly, analytics plays a huge part of it. You know, watching, we're in the middle of, the World Series right now. And it was, that last series between, the Rangers and Astros was great. Because you watch 2 managers that didn't play from analytics. They coached.
Yeah.
What happened here? Did Billy leave us?
There he is.
Hi, Billy. There he is. You left us for a second, Billy? And I feel like nowadays most fans they're so obsessed with the now versus actually being able to properly set your team up for the future and do what you got to do. That This kid has gone through how many coaches, how many offensive coordinators. It's tough, man. You're constantly jamming up. You constantly whatchamacall.
Billy, you're on mute.
There we go. I got you.
Look how many coaches come back, like quarterbacks. You'll see, and they'll go to systems later in their career, and they'll finally get some consistency, and they'll do something, and they'll get better. Look at Alex Smith, perfect example. Alex Smith bounced around the beginning of his career on shit teams, and came back later in his career playing for Andy Reid, playing for Harbaugh, and Alex Smith, was a damn good quarterback.
I mean, listen, the guy was the top pick in the draft. He wasn't a schlub. I mean,
but neither is Justin Fields. That's the point. He's a guy that goes out there and he gets put in this bad organization with these bad coaching decisions and the revolving door and no consistency. That's my point.
Smith had success early with the Niners. I mean, he was never bad. And that was a good.
He was a game manager from the minute
organization.
Yeah, he was a game manager from the minute he walked through the door in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I mean that's it, but it doesn't help. You're seeing it too often with these young kids. I'll be honest with you. I think another quarterback that caught a shit end of the stick was Sam Darnold. I think that kid actually does have.
Good. Absolutely.
I think the kid has legit talent, but the problem is when you keep bouncing around because when you're in certain markets, a la the New York market, you have the shortest leash of them all. You got
to come in successful or don't just get done.
Yeah. And
I would have been curious to see Darnold play this week in the Kyle Shanahan system and see what came of it. And see how he ran it with a good staff. I really would have. And if it does end up happening at some point this year, I definitely want to watch that and see how he plays. Because I agree with you. I think that was a kid that completely got the shaft. I don't know how Carolina moved on from him and didn't even bring him back even to try to compete.
I don't think he's that
to
good.
play this year.
I don't think he's that good.
I mean,
But quarterback, man, they're not very good normally. They don't translate.
Speaking of New York and quarterbacks don't translate. Today we have the battle of the New Jersey teams. Okay, at MetLife Stadium, the Jets are the visitors. The Giants are the home team. Okay, so I mean, listen, it's got to be a little weird. You're going into the visiting locker room in your home stadium, but whatever. Billy, I know you're a Giants fan, right? And I laugh because I see what it says under your name. I find it fucking hysterical, okay? That Brian Dable will not say whether or not Daniel Jones will see the field again for the rest of this season. I think it's a crock of shit. I think he's a coward. And I think it's the most bullshit move in the world.
I think the reports say he'll be back week 10.
Jeff, I think that's fucking horseshit. I think that in the last 2 weeks, Tyrod Taylor has shown them.
Well, I think he's better.
They do have a team that can be competitive if they have a quarterback that knows how to play the game. I think that they are now in panic mode. I think they realize that they just fucking flushed $45 million down the drain.
Yeah.
They're going to lose Saquon Barkley. This is an epic fucking shit show.
Play for next year at this point. Like, just hold.
Yeah, but here's the problem. But Jeff, the problem is this, and Billy, I want your opinion on this. Okay. Play for next year. You get a top 3 pick. What the fuck are you doing with that pick? This is the deepest quarterback draft in years. You know, as we're prepping for the show, you know, we're talking about it. You know, you're watching Drake May from North Carolina, and you're like, this kid's going to go 1. But you can make, Caleb Williams, I think, is out of the question for number 1 at this point. I think the anti-tanking, I just think
he's tanking the tankers, man. That's what I was saying. He's tanking the tankers.
It's very funny. But him, you have Phoenix, you got JJ McCarthy, you have a very deep quarterback draft right now. Are the Giants prepared to make that decision 1 year after signing what they perceived to be their fucking franchise quarterback with the biggest pile of dog shit?
I mean, the one thing you got to remember is I do think they'll be prepared to do it because the guarantee is only for 1 more season with Daniel Jones. That's the thing. I mean, that contract's there. His guarantee is over after next year. So if they had to carry it another year, I think they can live with that. But at the same time, I don't care what anybody's saying out loud right now. The Jets this week, the Raiders next week. 2 very winnable games. If Tyrod Taylor wins those games and the Giants are 3-1 with Tyrod Taylor and 4-5 overall going into the stretch of the schedule, they're not making a quarterback change. They're not. They are not going to tell their team, their fan base, and the entire NFL, we don't give a shit. We just went on a good run. We're going back to Daniel Jones. It's not going to happen. And if you look at the remaining 10 games on the Giants schedule, they play out of 10 games, 3 good offenses, and actually 2 because they play the Eagles twice. And I'm talking about the Eagles and I'm talking about Dallas, and that's it. So the Giant defense has a chance they started last week with the Commanders, and it can continue into today and beyond. The Giant defense has a chance to help salvage this season for the Giants. I don't think they're dead yet.
Listen, I don't think they're dead. You know, and the only reason why I say I don't think that they're dead, okay, and listen, this takes a lot for me, especially because I think the Giants are just dog shit, okay, is because the NFC is even bigger dog shit.
But look, I mean, look at the remaining schedule. You're talking the Jets, the Raiders. Oh, Dallas was one of the good offense I counted. Obviously, Dallas killed us week 1. Then you got the Commanders, the Patriots, the Packers, and the Saints. They are all winnable games.
No, listen, absolutely, they're all winnable games. But the problem is that like being a winnable game and actually winning them are two very different things.
And that's why I'm saying if Tyrod Taylor is 3-1, he's not coming out week 10. He will be in there. And I can't. You're not going to turn around and say, "Hey, we got a chance here. We just won 3 straight, and we're going to make a quarterback change." Brian Dable's not doing that. Neither is Joe Shane making that call above him. It's not going to happen.
No, you as a fan, it's not you don't want it to happen. But in reality, I've seen some stupider shit happen.
I don't. You got to remember, they gave him the money. They gave him the money. Yeah, he's still not their guy.
Yeah, but
they're not going to die. Joe Shane and Dable are not going to die on the Daniel Jones cross. It's not going to happen.
And I think Tyrod Taylor's a lot better than Daniel Jones. I think
right now, I mean, we've all seen the flashes of the backup quarterback that's played the club. But right now, Tyrod Taylor is running the offense better, using the weapons. Look, Jalen Hyatt last week, all of a sudden, wow, Jalen Hyatt, Waller. These guys are getting it. Slayton to make plays. They're getting more playmakers involved, and therefore they are a better team. Tyrod Taylor's doing what Daniel Jones did last year, and that's what they need on the field. And
I never saw it with him either, though, Daniel Jones. I never saw it with him.
I never did. It was just the kid panics, and I'll say it till someone believes me. The kid, the game is too fast for him.
I get what everybody says. I get what you guys say. I was okay with the contract for one reason. I looked at the team that finished last year, won a playoff game, and I say, you can't go backwards now. You're not going to take that team and go, we're going to go draft. We're going to let him go and go draft a quarterback. We're going to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo or Sam Darnold now to quarterback this team for a year or two. You weren't going to do that. Daniel Jones was your only logical choice at that point, and they did what they had to do. That was the quarterback market. It's psychotic. I don't get it, but that's what it is in the NFL right now. That is the quarterback market for a starting NFL quarterback.
Listen, the offseason of 2020, the 2022-2023 offseason will go down as the biggest blunder in the next 10 years for the New York Giants. Because what they should have done was the complete fucking opposite of what they did.
I was just
should have given Saquon Barkley the contract.
Yeah.
Franchise quarterback, franchise Daniel Jones. One good season does not justify getting paid that. That's the problem. That is, I swear to you, and we don't have the rage room today, but trust me, there's a lot of it in me. That's the problem with today's fucking sports. And it's across the board, man. You got people that are undeserving of these big contracts getting paid an insane amount of money. And they've done nothing to justify getting these contracts. Like literally nothing. And Daniel Jones is the epitome of it. And the problem is that, listen, we all live in a New York market. We're surrounded by moronic Giants fans. Okay, Billy, I'll exclude you today. Okay, we're surrounded by a lot of them because they're blind. You know, they are legitimate. You know, the word fan comes from the word, it's derived from fanatic. And that's exactly what Giants fans are. They're fanatic. They think everything about their team is the greatest thing ever. I argue, we were talking at my job about some of the greatest defenses, and they mentioned one of the Giants defenses. I said, how you could even put that defense in as one of the greatest? I have like 7 before I even mentioned the Giants. I said, but whatever. It's just that to me is their biggest blunder and will always be there. That's going to be the black, that's going to be the black eye on the New York Giants front office when they look back, especially when they lose Saquon Barkley.
You're right. I mean, and you know what? I would have taken my chances of losing Barkley because I think we could have made do if that would have came to it. I agree with you. But I'm going to say, as far as today's game go, to keep this moving, it's going to come down to 2 factors. Which running back plays better, Breece Hall or Saquon Barkley, and which defense steps up? Are we going to see the giant defense we saw last week? Are we going to see the Jets back to being a great defense with Gardner and Reed back playing? That's what's going to determine this game. I think both teams are going to do what they have to do to make sure the quarterback isn't the deciding factor.
I respect.
I want your thoughts on Soft Salicata and Brandon Tierney and what they had to say about Thibodeau. Did you hear all that with what they said and how they basically hung up on Carl Banks?
I heard about the Carl Banks. You know what? I've honestly stopped listening to that. It was a show I enjoyed in the beginning, but I can't.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
not them,
I can't do it anymore because I think they do things more for the TikTok attention than that they actually believe it. I think they do things more to get clips put of their show put on TikTok and have people react to it.
It's a try hard, shock jock kind of thing that they're trying to do, and it just sucks because they're not good at it.
No, and Brandon Tierney going on X after that and saying how much he respects Carl Banks, but Carl Banks shouldn't be telling because according to him, Carl Banks shouldn't have been telling them how to do a radio show.
That's fine, but you don't just hang up on a guest.
Exactly. That's that old Mike Francesa bullshit that got Mike Francesa taken off. Got Mike Francesa basically washed away out because nobody wanted to listen to him or be bothered with him anymore. And that's what they tried to do that.
Real quick, and we're going to get – Jeff, we're going to transition into your team. But speaking of useless radio people, I really hope that Mad Dog Russo fucking honors his word and retires.
Coward. No, he's a coward.
He's not going to because he added something. There was something after that.
What a crock of shit. But you fucking went on the air and said, write it down. If they make it to the World Series, I'm going to retire on the spot. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, we're going to down to Miami. We mentioned one fraud, Jeff. Your team is tempering. They're teetering that line.
Fraud watch. I'm under fraud watch. I don't think the Dolphins lost that game as much as the refs helped the Eagles win it. Like I said, I'm not going to cry about. Well, no, I'm definitely going to cry about it. But what I'm not going to do is all right, it drives me insane because they lost. Okay, they lost. I can admit that they lost. They didn't score as many points as the other team. But there was a lot of missed calls and a lot of calls that were made that shouldn't have been made. It was – you can't have 10 plus penalties on one team and 0 for the other. That just – I mean, dude, I can show you so many pictures of that. So I'm not saying they're frauds just yet. Now, their offense was definitely slowed down, but Eagles' defense is very good. They're Jalen Carter. Those guys are sick. So I'm not – I can't say anything bad about that. But I will say that game was a lot closer than what that score was by a lot. And if you watch the game, you can see that. So I'm not really on fraud watch. Now, again, they have to beat the Patriots this week, and they're in Miami, so there's no excuse. Belichick does not win in Miami, ever. But they have to look ahead, and which I'm sure they're doing already, to the Chiefs game in Germany. So I think this is one of those things where it's like, all right, I got to get this over with, and then we can go to Germany and play them. But that game is going to be more of the important game than this one.
They just actually announced they just actually announced the rough for the Jets.
It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
I'm so tired of it.
This is the guy who's going to.
The good thing we have is Jalen Ramsey's back. So him being back, Xavier Howard being back, that gives you your corner guys. When you have 2 shutdown cornerbacks like that, it gives the defensive line more time to get to the quarterback. They have Jalen Phillips. They have Christian Wilkins. They have Sealer. They have guys that can rush the quarterback. If you give them an extra second or two because Howard's on one side, Ramsey's on the other side, and they're fucking holding their guys, together, you give them any more time than they already have to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. A lot of throws can get thrown away. This defense is a lot better now that Ramsey's back. Ramsey is the key to that because Kohu is dog shit. And I think Nick Needham's back also. So they got the boys back. So I expect good things this week. And I expect a very, very low-scoring, solid game in Germany.
See, I'm going to say the word fraud, we've been throwing it around a lot. I don't consider Miami a fraud or close to being. Miami, to me, is an up-and-coming team. They're going to hit their peaks and their valleys. I don't believe they're ever going. I don't believe this season we could ever use the word fraud with the Miami Dolphins because they're not on that consistent level yet to be there. The Buffalo Bills have been there for years. So what we see coming from them right now, yeah, they're frauds. They're paper. Miami is on the rise, and I think they're going to continue to be there. I know you're going to see in a few minutes, I picked the Patriots. The only reason I picked the Patriots is because these games are historically close and the spread is 10. I believe Miami's going to win this game 100%, but I think it's going to be within a touchdown.
Jeff, I got a question for you.
Sure.
Okay, so again, outsider looking in. Do you think on the defensive side, so listen, I do agree with you. I think Ramsey, the addition of Ramsey is definitely going to help, right? But do you think that the beginning of the season, the success that you guys had in the beginning of the season on the defensive side, do you think that was attributed to a lot of people playing beyond the back of their baseball card, per se? Like Van Ginkel and these guys, like
their defense didn't really play that well so far this season.
I mean, listen, it is Van Ginkel, right? That I'm saying, correct? Is that's the name? Okay.
Well, he was playing great last year, and this year he just kind of came into his own and became took a step forward.
But that's the thing is like you mentioned a bunch of names like Phillips, yes, Wilkins, okay, but I just feel like, and I hate to say it, but like I feel like you guys are missing the name, and maybe Ramsey is the name that it's just like
Bradley Chubb's been coming along pretty good so far the last few weeks. He's really been out there. You've heard him a lot, his name a lot more. Earlier he wasn't doing shit.
And the other thing that I'm going to put, complete curveball. Do you think that the pace of play that the offense is running is hurting your defense?
No, but I can see what you mean. If they're quick, up-tempo, and not giving the defense enough time to kind of rest on the side because they're scoring within 30 seconds. I can see that, but no, I don't. I think in practice this is what they've been conditioned to do.
No, I'm just, like I said, I was curious. But, like I said, we're talking about it like you guys don't have the name. A defense that does have the name, right, is the Dallas Cowboys. And good old number 11 in Micah Parsons. I mean, the kid is just insane. Another game, another week. This was we looked at it and we all looked at each other. A very odd start time for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
a 1:00 start time, which means, if I'm not mistaken, in Dallas, this game is at 11 a.m. start time for the Cowboys hosting the LA Rams. Billy made a good point. It could have been due to the World Series that this game was scheduled the way it was, but man, do the Cowboys need to string it together.
And it's going to hurt them because they're used to waking up 2-3 hours later than they are now. It could fuck their tongue. It's kind of like when you go to overseas and you play the game in where they play
London.
Yeah. So they play in London, but and everyone just said like with the jet lag and all sort of the whole time concept, that's real. You can't outsleep it. You can't think and trick your mind. It is what it is. And that's why a lot of those guys, why they call it the blunder. It's the games are always under because these guys. So now you have Dallas, who has to wake up a couple hours early. They're not used to it. I don't know if it takes them, until maybe the second half to come along, but it could be a factor.
It definitely could. they have been in the news a lot lately. Today kind of debunked all the rumors, but up until about 24 hours ago, there was heavy speculation. And until the trade deadline Tuesday passes, I still believe that it is a possibility. There's a lot of talk of Derrick Henry being a Dallas Cowboy, which would be huge for a couple of reasons. A, the Tennessee Titans, that ship has sailed. Okay, they've shipped it in, they've mailed it in. Will Levis is starting this week. Everyone's drinking mayo with their coffee. But adding someone like Derrick Henry would be a huge, huge help to Dak Prescott. Huge.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Tony Pollard's a lead back. I really don't. I think Tony Pollard over the last 2 seasons.
Best when he's a backup. Taking 10 snaps, 12 snaps, maybe.
That third down back. That's when Zeke was there. That's when he excelled.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a backup as much as I would call in the NFL the new term is a committee back, because that's what Tony Pollard was with Zeke. He was a committee back. I didn't really consider him
12 touches a game. He'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't consider him.
He's not a bell cow.
No, he's not. There's very few left.
Yeah,
there really is.
And I wouldn't. And listen, I know we're talking about him, but I wouldn't even say that at this point that Derrick Henry is a bell cow. He's had a very He's had a very subpar season thus far.
Exactly. Derrick Henry, we've honestly, because of the way they run him into the ground, and he somehow produces through it all, we've wondered when the tires were going to start to lose their thread there, so to speak. And it's happening now. Derrick Henry needs, I think an effective Derrick Henry is about a 15 to 17 touch a game, Derrick Henry.
He needs that big burst.
Exactly. If you could team him with Tony Pollard and get them both about 15, 16, 17 touches a game, I think you make the Dallas Cowboys a better team. But I don't know if that trade's getting made.
Listen. But the one thing that we're not talking about, Jeff, is the other side of the ball. Puka.
Yeah, he's good.
Listen, all we kept hearing, I know that I heard, I picked him up. And anyone who picked him up in week 1 of the fantasy, when Cooper Kupp comes back, his production's going to drop and drop.
His numbers were exactly the same.
He was getting the same amount of targets. The kid, Stafford trusts him, and that goes a long way. And you know what? Anyone who's half a brain, Cooper Kupp's only going to make him more viable, because now, when Kupp is out and Puka's your number one, they could focus. Your number one cornerback is going to be on Puka, because who were they really worried about? Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell?
Yeah,
Nobody. Now the number one is on Kupp, and now you have your number 2 on Puka. He's
fast, good hands. He's a good player.
That catch last week was unbelievable.
Yeah,
one of the best catches this season thus far, without question. I think this is going to be a good game. I think, Jeff, like you said, I think the start time is definitely going to be a little bit crazy.
I picked the Cowboys originally, but then I thought about it. Once I think a little bit more than I shouldn't change it because I'm really bad at this, but I did.
We'll go over that later.
Yeah, and I changed it to the Rams because I think it's gonna be close. McVay just had the baby. He's gonna have some daddy powers where he's gonna coach correctly. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a lot closer than anyone else thinks. It won't be a blowout. I can tell you that much. It definitely won't be.
One of the things though, Jeff. One thing the Cowboys consistently do right, and they don't do many things consistently right at all, is they play well coming off the bye.
Yeah, but the Rams under McVay, 23-12 against the spread after a loss. So I like the numbers there.
Yeah. And thanks to the refs again, they're coming off a loss.
Yeah. I think
another dot. Yeah, they with the refs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys do win the game. I don't know if they cover, but I definitely think.
Yeah, I guess they're winning, but I don't think they're gonna cover. I think it'd be a lot closer.
I mean, it's. I think you can expect to see a lot of Kyron Williams. They're gonna have to do something to offset number 11. Because Stafford is old, man. Those bones are brittle. He might die.
He's still a top quarterback, though, man.
He's still got an arm. Cannon of an arm.
I mean, if Stafford has the time to get the ball out to any of those three receivers, because another guy we didn't speak about while talking about Tutu Atwell is a damn good number 3 receiver. And if he can get the ball out to anyone, if he has the time to get the ball to any of the 3 of those guys, it's going to be a much closer game than any of us think.
Yeah, and then don't forget there's a little battle going on. The rapper that we made like the part of the game where we was sitting in the it wasn't the owner's box, but he had like a bunch of strippers. He made like a big stripper video. And Stafford's wife had mentioned something about it, and little beef going on with those two. So I'm curious to see how that goes.
Kelly Stafford shooting down the hose. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing.
I don't know the guy's name. Something Blue, I think a Blue something or other. I don't know what his name is, but yeah, he like turned the whole.
You're my boy, Blue.
My boy, Blue.
Whatever the suite. He turned a suite into like a straight up fucking strip club.
No,
crazy.
Pimping ain't easy.
Hey, listen. When you're watching the Cowboys, sometimes that's what you got to do.
Date them boys.
Yeah. So the London Jags are going to travel over to Pittsburgh this fine Sunday that we're celebrating here. We almost made it a whole weekend here in New York without rain. But of course, Sunday, great. Way to go. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Jags, after 2 consecutive weeks in London, come home, decimate my Colts, even though my Colts deserved to win that game.
Well, I like the Jags. The Jags are a Super Bowl team, by the way. They're a strong team. They have a very good defense. Their offense is pretty good. I don't know. I do like them. Trevor Lawrence, to me, seems like he plays up to competition. So when he has big games like this, he shows up. Like his numbers are actually proving that. I do like that. But the other way around it, where I always bring this up, is Tomlin as a dog. You really don't want to bet against him, and it worked last week. You shouldn't have bet against him, but a home dog, he's very successful. So it's tough for me to go, but
and my brain's mush right now because the Colts played the Jags 2 weeks ago. Jags played. Relax, okay?
They do.
Just relax. I don't need to hear about that, okay? Jags beat the Saints on Thursday night last week. Here's my thing. I mean, listen, Tomlin has gone how many seasons without having a losing season? And I get it. You're going to get someone like Brian Pennell, like, oh, Tomlin's the worst head coach in the history. He's mediocre. Listen, there are fucking 29 other teams that would fucking pay.
If he retires today, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, instantly.
Just
because you don't like him, that's one thing, but like you can't take I hate Belichick, but Belichick's gonna go down as one of the best head coaches ever.
I fucking despise Belichick.
You know what I mean?
Whatever. It is what it is. But listen, one thing, Billy, one thing I've noticed over the last couple of weeks with this team, let's talk about the Pittsburgh side first. Tomlin, they're starting to change a little bit. You're starting to see the changing of the guard. Najee Harris scores his first touchdown all season in week 7, which is mind-boggling, especially if you drafted him in fantasy. Jaylen Warren seems to be slowly inching himself into the lead back over there. But here's my thing. I mean, I think it's time we take the training wheels off of Kenny Pickett. I think we need to take them off and let this kid play. Listen, when this kid played, at Pittsburgh University, okay, in college, the kid was electric. The kid was great. Then coming out of college, all you kept hearing was, oh, his hands are too small, this is this, whatever. And, I feel like the kid was stigmatized from the jump and never really got a fair crack. But I've seen nothing but, solid play from him. And he has this connection with Pickens. So he's got the weapons there. He's with Pickens, with Deontay Johnson, Freiermuth. He's got weapons there. Take the fucking wheels off and let this kid go.
I agree with you. And I think the more now Deontay Johnson's back, I think you're going to see that happen more and more every week. And I happen to think the Steelers are a lot better than people think. But I will say one thing here. If the Jaguars establish Travis Etienne today early, they are going to walk through Pittsburgh.
Well, I mean, right now it's 87% chance of rain for the game. So
if they get Etienne going early, this is going to be a cakewalk game.
Love Etienne.
But guys, also remember where we're playing. Okay, we're playing Pittsburgh, bad weather. Guaranteed someone's blowing out a knee or an ACL today. There is no doubt in my mind. Someone.
Don't put that in the universe.
Don't put
that
in This bout of positivity is brought to you by Joe Algieri.
It's guys. It's the worst field in fucking football.
But don't put that in the universe, man.
I get it. It's probably going to be me. It's probably going to be one of my guys. Whatever. Listen, on the Jacksonville side, yes, I think that they, obviously had a huge leap last year. I think that they're progressing towards where they need to be. They have the right coach, definitely have the right quarterback, right running back. Calvin Ridley has sucked moose dick after being hyped to be right. Whatever. I think this weekend is all about Christian Kirk. I think Christian Kirk I think he's playing with a chip on his shoulder, because think about it, Jeff. This dude sets the parameters for what a wide receiver gets paid last season, right? And they go to the playoffs and they do all this great shit, and all you have is everyone talking about Calvin Ridley, and he has outperformed Calvin Ridley every step of the way.
Yeah, but
every step of the way.
Ridley's he's better.
Yeah, but listen, you could be as great. You could be as great as you want. If you don't produce, you mean nothing.
Well, he's not getting the ball thrown to him either.
I beg to differ. He is definitely getting the ball thrown to him.
Okay, let's go back
here. Let's go to the videotape. Here we go. Calvin Ridley stats. Calvin Ridley. Here we go. Through 2023 regular season.
No. Early on, he was getting the ball. I said recently they haven't been getting a lot of targets.
29 targets, 17 receptions in the last 5 games. Overall for the season, 48
that's
targets.
Nothing. That's like 4 or 5 targets a game.
Let's do this. Give me a wide receiver, not named Tyreek Hill.
Not named Tyreek Hill.
Give me a wide receiver.
Stephon Diggs.
Okay. You're such a dick. You really are.
I mean,
Justin
I mean, come on. Okay, so yeah, let's go to the one fucking player that is getting force fed. Okay, so he's got 90
somebody, so I did
90 targets on 64 receptions.
How about?
But give me somebody on the same level as Ridley, because we're not putting Ridley on the same level.
But how about this? Instead of trying to compare Ridley to somebody, let's finally accept that it's time to realize this is a guy playing like a guy who hasn't played football in 2 years, because that's realistically what he is. I mean, I know everybody had great hopes for him going in fantasy-wise and whatever. He's playing like a guy that hasn't played football in 2 years. It's unfair to think anyone can walk back on a fucking field after 2 years at the professional level and just get in there and like no time has passed. It doesn't happen.
So here, I'm using your team that you just gave me, right? I went to the Buffalo Bills. So it's unfair to compare him to Stephon Diggs because he's not on the same level as Stephon Diggs. But do you know whose numbers he has almost identical to a T? Gabe Davis. He's not a top tier wide receiver at this time. He may have all the skill and talent to be, but he's not producing to be labeled as a top.
Thrown to him. You literally just said it. He's getting about 4 or 5 targets a game.
So
he's not because they don't have the faith in him because he's not showing the ability yet to be able to.
Ball. Have you guys seen the game?
So hold on, Jeff, hold on.
I know I paid for the Sunday ticket.
So let's go through this. You ready? Calvin Ridley, 27 receptions on 48 targets. Okay.
Okay. Where are we on?
No, this is that was for the season. Christian Kirk, 39 receptions on 55 targets. So more receptions, less targets. Zay Jones. I mean, that's whatever. It's 8 for 18. So let's not, There's only two.
Let's just keep going past all the shit that's gonna make me look fucking wrong. Yeah, good idea. Sounds good. Solid. You're wrong.
It's wrong. It's not
wrong. Ridley not getting the fucking ball. You guys aren't watching the games, obviously.
He's getting more targets than anyone else on the team.
He's not getting shit. He's not getting shit. I'm telling you, he's not getting shit. I'm watching the games.
I understand, but like, listen, numbers don't lie, Jeff. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. But you guys can say whatever you like. I'm telling you, you're fucking wrong, and because I'm watching the games, I'm not going by your stupid.
Trevor Lawrence has
200 the fucking games. If a ball goes 70 feet over his head, it's going to be called a fucking target. Give me a fucking break.
I understand, but listen, he has dropped back and thrown 239 passes. 239 passes, okay? Of those 239 passes, okay, let's go back to it again.
Let's do the math.
48 have gone to Calvin Ridley. That's just about 20%.
Okay, so 20%. Okay, but that means nothing. Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't. He's not getting targeted nearly as much. It's fine. You can just keep moving on because you're not going to fucking listen anyway, so it's fine. But
it's not that I'm not going to listen.
If you watch the games, but you don't. But if you watch the games,
100% I do. 100% I do.
Bullshit. You don't watch any of the Jaguar games. Why would you watch a Jaguars game?
Because I have half of them on my fucking fantasy team.
Bullshit. I've seen your team. Bullshit.
Do you want to see them? You want to see them again?
Bullshit. Horseshit.
You underestimate me, sir. You underestimate me. No, listen. I mean, my argument is this. Okay, we'll move on after this.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting Calvin Ridley into an air or into a threshold that he doesn't belong.
Is he the number one in Jacksonville?
Right now, no. Christian Kirk is.
Okay, that's your opinion. I'm talking about the depth chart. If you're the team and you're the coach and you're the wide receiver coach, you're the offensive coordinator, who is your number one? Who goes in the number one slot?
Right now, based on how they're lining up,
I'm not saying I'm talking about what the team is doing. If
you're basing it off a skill level, so yes, if you're basing it off a skill level,
that's what I'm saying. So he's the number one, is what I'm trying to say.
Right,
and he's gonna get respected as number one. But again, number ones get targeted 8 to 10 times a fucking game. He's not getting that. He's not. He's getting it 4 or 5. That's my point. He's getting half of them in reality. A number one target, a Tyreek Hill, a Stephon Diggs, a Justin Jefferson. These guys, St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, another one. Probably gets targeted around double digits every game. This guy's not. He's getting fucking targeted 4 or 5 times. So yeah, that's my point.
Right, but again, to our point, right? Could it be not playing football in 2 years? So you're not getting that separation. There's a reason you're not getting
A
the
lot of
starting.
dump offs. ETN's getting a lot. He's getting a lot of dump offs. So
Well,
yes,
listen,
a lot of times, there you go.
I think they've changed.
Not the greatest.
I
He's
think
not
they've
getting
also.
that time.
I also think that they've changed their philosophy a lot, and I think that they've gone more running. I think they found more success with ETN because
Yeah, and
ETN
I prefer if they kept doing that also.
was hurt last year, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a lot of like Agnew and whatnot. But whatever.
Yeah.
Billy, the floor is yours, sir.
All right. After that, we just want to send a quick reminder to you guys that we will no longer be broadcasting in our Facebook groups, and everything will be live on our YouTube channel at firedupsportsnetwork.com on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And also remember to check out the firedupsportsnetwork.com website. The blogs, the new apparel, everything is up there. Everything is looking great. Please check us out, and we thank you guys for your support.
Yes, yeah, actually, we're going to put it up on the screen just so everyone could see how beautiful it is. I mean, you guys have been doing a great job. But yeah, so I mean, we have the ticker up top, guys. Our blogs, literally, our writers have been phenomenal. We're adding new writers, everything. You can watch all of the past, everything. It's here. Show lineup. Everything. Our Instagram. It really is. It's a great website. When you get a chance, kind of go check it out. You even have a picture of certain people that have been MIA.
Hey. And Joe will promise you that Jimmy Ducats will get his picks in before the end of the 4:00 games today. We guarantee it.
Yeah, Jimmy's picks will be live on TikTok. Okay. So what we're gonna do is today we can't do it for scheduling purposes. So I'm going to get them onto TikTok. But what we've learned after last week was Jimmy's better live. So what we're going to try to do is every week get Jimmy on for like the last 10, 15 minutes of the show, bring him in, kind of go over, pick his brain, see where he's thinking of. I like the way that he broke it down last week. But speaking of breaking down, the San Francisco 49ers are breaking down. Okay. Jeff, is the bubble about to burst in San Francisco?
No. The thing is, like, when I once said that Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback because at the time he was a top 10 quarterback. Now, is he right now? Probably not. He probably dropped, but that's how it goes from week to week. I mean, you have a guy who had basically 0 interceptions. He was just playing his ass off. I don't care if he's in that system, he's not in that system. It drives me insane how, I think I discussed it last week also, I'm tired of hearing that someone's a system quarterback. The whole point is to create a system around your quarterback. So if you're going to say that he's a system quarterback, that means that the coaches did the perfect thing. They have exactly what they need with this guy. He played like shit last week. It is what it is. He didn't play good. That happens. He can come back this week and do the same thing, but maybe he has a better game. I don't know, but that's what it is. What you rank week to week. So if I say Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback, yes, at the time he was. Is he right now? Probably not. Probably outside the top 10. But like, I wouldn't say they're broken. I think they definitely need to maybe a players only meeting, kind of get the shit back in order. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, not having Debo also hurts. Takes off one weapon off the field.
To be honest with you, it's a lot made about nothing. Take a team, take their number one receiver and their starting left tackle away. They're not going to look as good. The quarterback's not going to be as good. Those are two of the most important people on the field, and they're not there. So what? That happens to every team in the NFL. And what happens? It's usually 9 times out of 10 a bad game offensively. So I think Trent Williams is probably going to be back today. Debo's out, but I think again, just with Trent Williams' presence out there, you're going to
Him
see a
alone,
better
yeah,
game.
that's a big deal.
Exactly. You're going
Guys,
to see a better game from the offense when you have the full majority of the power of the offense. The more of your starting offense you have, the better your team is. I mean, that's just common sense. I think there's too many people out there that don't want to believe Brock Purdy can do it. And that's why at every little moment they have to take a jab at him and go at him, they do it, and they make it much bigger than it really is.
He's not going to be an elite guy. I don't think he'll ever be elite, but he's going to be good. Like, I think he's okay. I think he's a good quarterback.
He's a perfect game manager.
That's it, man. That's all you need. You don't need to have these fucking lunatic guys anymore. You just need to have the perfect team. You don't have to have a guy that throws 350 yards a game, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, whatever. You don't need that anymore when you have
especially when you have a running back who's on the cusp of breaking history, or at least tying it. Okay. He is a one TD away.
He could tie it today.
He could tie the record today of Lenny Moore of the Baltimore Colts for 16 consecutive touchdowns. Think about that, guys. 16 consecutive weeks. It's absolutely an impressive record. The more he continues to produce, the more that trade with the Panthers looks worse by the day. This whole game is going to be about this, but let's not forget about who's on the other side. And Billy, last week you pressed the button and you talked about that handsome bastard himself, Joe Burrow. Another week removed from healing that calf. Jamar Chase looks determined to,
He's got a 7-Eleven chain too. I kind of like that.
He's always open. I think Higgins is getting ready to turn that corner. I mean, they have a solid team. You can't discredit this team. And you got to remember, unlike the 49ers have their division wrapped up. Let's call it what it is, right?
Yeah.
The Bengals know that they're in the division with the Browns, who are suspect, and the Baltimore Ravens. They can't afford many losses. The Ravens are very good. I think the Ravens are going to be a
team we just talked about. The 4-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, a team everybody always forgets.
It's a game that, it's very – listen, I think this game means a lot more to the Bengals than it does the 49ers. But the difference is that if the 49ers lose this game, no one's going to be talking about that, the Bengals won. It's going to be – they're going to be so focused on pointing out, the 49ers aren't who we thought they were. That's really kind of, to me, where I think this game's going to be a lot closer. The spread is 4, so are you telling, I don't know, man.
I think this is going to be the game of the day.
I like the Bengals here.
I like the Bengals too, and I like the Bengals for a lot of reasons because I think the public is going to hammer the 49ers because they're like, bounce back game. Listen, the Monday night letdown is a real thing. That short week, you're injured, you're not healthy, coming off a bad loss, you know what I'm saying, in a game that you should have won against a much worse team. Like, think about it, guys. They lost to a Minnesota Vikings team who had no Justin Jefferson. Kudos to Kirk Cousins. But it's
no, I said this is going to be, to me, I think, the game of the day. And
absolutely.
This is not going to be a cakewalk either way, and I'll be shocked if it turns into one. I think there's going to be 2 good teams going at it, and it's going to be probably within 1 to 3 points.
Well, I mean, listen, I will tell you this. At the end of this game, one of these 2 fan bases are going to be pressing the button.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
talked about this a lot going into this. We recapped it when we were shooting the shit earlier. We've talked about it nonstop throughout the show. The Buffalo Bills are done. I'm tired of hearing about them. It's a joke now. Yeah, you went out and won it. You went out and beat a team you were supposed to beat. You're gonna play down to the next team that's good. You're just done. Josh Allen doesn't have it without Brian Dable. I've said it 5 times during the show. I'm gonna say it again. Brian Dable was the key there. Brian Dable went to the Giants, did it with Daniel Jones last year, is almost doing it again, it looks like, with Tyrod Taylor now. You guys have to face the facts. You screwed up when you probably should have let McDermott go and kept Dable and kept him from coaching the Giants. Your franchise has done nothing but go downhill. You're out. You're probably not even going to the playoffs because you're not good enough to, and that's it. And then going on to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's quit on you, Cleveland Browns.
You don't play anymore.
Everybody else here knows it. He doesn't want to play football. That's it. You're looking at a guy that goes out there and he's cleared by doctors. And, no, I'm not good. I can't go. Then they're saying it's something with his shoulder. How did he hurt his shoulder not playing for 3 weeks? This guy is done. He doesn't like – he's the James Harden of the freaking NFL. All of a sudden, he doesn't like Kevin Stefanski's system. He doesn't like what he's being asked to do, and therefore he is quitting on you. So I don't know. There's nothing you can do with this contract. You may have to soon think about eating the goddamn thing. I don't know what to tell you, but you need to get something going there, whether it's Watson, Stefanski, something's got to change and fast because you guys are up shit's creek without a paddle in this situation right now, and that's all I can say about it. Last but not least, the new franchise quarterback of the Chicago Bears. It isn't Justin Fields. It's nobody in the draft. It's Tyson Bagent. This guy, he spent $9,000 bringing in 55 people of his friends and family to watch him play last week. The guy's signing bonus was only $8,300. That's how much confidence, that's how much balls this guy had to show he was going to go out there and go 21-29 with a touchdown and beat the Raiders.
You look good.
Tyson Bagent.
He's got moxie, man. He's got a lot of moxie.
He does. He looked the part out there, and I think the Bears found their quarterback of the future right there. That's it. The button's pushed. Let's get week 8 going. Let's take it back in here, boys.
All right, so here's my thing. You want to talk about someone who pressed the button over the last week. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I'm going to put it on the screen. So someone's talking about Deshaun Watson. And can we all look at what Brady Quinn said?
Oh, Brady Quinn is
How
a savage.
about we massage this conversation and get it to a happy ending? Does this sound satisfactory?
Brady
Quinn. Talk about fucking shooting. Like, no fucks given whatsoever.
I mean, that's Brady Quinn. Joe, I know you're a McAfee listener like I am. If you've ever heard Brady Quinn on there, because his brother-in-law's with AJ Hawk. If you ever heard Brady Quinn on there, he lets it go. Like, I love listening to Brady Quinn.
Yeah, I mean, that, like, I couldn't help but chuckle when I saw that quote. I mean, listen, like you said, this is where Cleveland, like, listen, you know, Cleveland's doing Cleveland things, right? This is why they set such a bad precedent giving a fully guaranteed contract.
No,
this guy is not gonna do shit.
Not anymore. No,
he is gonna listen. I might replace your face, Billy, with Deshaun Watson at this point, and upgrade you to I don't know. I'll let you pick who I upgrade you to. Okay.
I mean, if you look at the situations, what I just said, and I know I do have that. That segment is for entertainment purposes. But one thing that I will stick to in that is that Deshaun Watson is the James Harden of the NFL. Because if you look at the situations, they were very similar. Look what James Harden, when he went to Brooklyn and got another max contract. He loved it there. This is where he wanted to be. This is what he wanted to do until he didn't. until things weren't going his way. And then he wanted to be in Philadelphia where he is now. And all of a sudden it's Daryl Morey, who he loved last year, is now the Antichrist. That's what you're seeing from Deshaun Watson. He doesn't like playing for Kevin Stefanski. So he is going to basically keep himself off the field until hopefully he gets his wish at the end of this year and cost Kevin Stefanski his job.
Yeah, it's just crazy. You know, it is what. You know, it's definitely embarrassing. Well, I mean, another big thing that, today, Jeff, you reported it yesterday. We might have our first snow game.
Yep. Yeah, excited.
And you know what? You know what helps in snow games?
Snow.
A fired up sports hoodie.
Oh yeah, the
so
hoodies.
You could get the hoodies with our brand new apparel, our brand new logos are live. Make sure
I also
you get them.
I have the flame only going up. The hoodies and t-shirts, the flame only logo, the icon logo. I also have those going up probably by today or tomorrow.
All right. Yeah. And guys, just remember,
they're made. I just got to add to the store. That's it.
Listen, not only is the product great, you know, for those who have bought shirts from us in the past, you know, the material we use is better than anything you've probably, you know, we stand by our product, but guys, also by purchasing something and whatnot, it goes a long way to help us continue providing you with great entertainment that you've come to know and love and appreciate from us here at Fired Up Sports. Yeah. But you know what else helps us pay the bills? Hitting a 14 parlay.
Yeah, I was gonna say gambling also.
Yeah, today. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get into you.
Yeah.
You fell. Listen, you are far from perfect. But let's get into the perfect parlay.
Yeah, I'd like to bet $100.
You want to pick a team?
Jeff, you and I. I know I gotta change that logo. I just realized that. Jeff, you and I are pretty good at this. Billy, not so much. Ray,
he's okay.
He's okay, but he's
on the Herbert horse.
Yeah, he's definitely on the Herbert horse. He's on the Herbanon.
I've hit the last 2 weeks. I don't know. Keep that shit off me, man.
Yeah, whatever. All right, this week plus 12-12. Billy, I think you're AJ Brown, correct?
Indeed, I am.
All right.
That's a good one because I mean the last 5 games I think he's went over 125, right?
Yep.
That's a great pick. He's a man playing amongst boys. Jeff, you are the Travis Etienne.
Yup. Love him.
Obviously, as we mentioned, our illustrious partner, Ray Smarsh, Justin Herbert. And then, Jeff, I told you, I said I gave you 3 options.
Not everything.
It was CJ Stroud, over touchdowns, over yards, over farts in his sleep. I think, listen, if you have him on your fantasy team, get him in your lineup this week. This is his coming out party.
Stroud boys, stand up.
I think he goes nuts. I really do. Let's get into our week 8 picks. Jeff, for you did everything. You did everything blindfolded this week. Hopefully,
I did say last week that I reserve the right to change all my picks, and technically, yes, I went 2-10, but I really kind of went 10-2 because I reserved that right to change my picks. So you won't recognize it. You won't, which is fine. You don't have to, but.
So we'll put an asterisk for you.
Yes. Let that be a lesson to everyone. Call your bookies, call FanDuel, call DraftKings, and tell them you reserve the right to change your pick at the end of the game, and you will never lose again. And then you just at the end,
you had to change it before. You can't just change it.
At the end, all you have to do is throw in the hashtag "Thanks, Jeff," and you will be fine.
That's it. I mean, listen, or just tell them that you're watching the tailgate. You know, listen. I spoke it into premonition last week. You know, I said, you know, where's Cordell Patterson? All of a sudden, Bijan Robinson, you know, miraculously out for the game, and here's Cordell Patterson. We just this is what we do here on the show. We are the pre-show, and we just make shit happen. But let's go through the picks. Billy, you're alone with the Saints because you're a dick. The Colts are going to beat the Saints. Me and Ray are on the Steelers. You two are on the Jags.
Jagging off.
As I mentioned before, I think this is the C.J. Stroud coming out party against the Carolina Panthers. Battle of the top two picks and top two quarterbacks in this last year's draft, which means that the Panthers are going to win because all four of us picked the Texans. Ray alone on the Commanders against the Eagles. Jeff, you're alone with the Rams. You made that last second change.
Yep.
Billy, you and I believe that Big Bill Belichick will cover.
Yes.
I don't think either of us think we're going to win.
No, we are in agreement with that. He will cover. He's not going to win.
Billy, you're the only one dumb enough to take the New York Giants.
I'll live and die on the sword. Come on.
I think this is a fucking slaughter today. Will Levis does not get his first win at home against Desmond Ridder. He's looking to start his streak up again. His undefeated home streak. He's going to start it up again. I'm the only one on the Packers. We're split.
It's kind of
hard. Yeah, I know. Is it? No, he's home, isn't he? I'm reading this wrong. I'm sorry. Yes, he's away.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my bad. I'm reading it wrong. My bad. We make mistakes. You did it 10 times last week.
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't. He reserved the right to change his mind. Hashtag thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks. We're split on the Seahawks and the Browns. I'm the only one with the Broncos.
That's insane, dude. You know, the last time that the Broncos beat the Chiefs was Peyton Manning was their quarterback.
No, listen, I get it. I'm just banking on the weather being what they're saying it is, and I'm playing that card. That's the card. The only reason why I'm taking the points is because
playing the role of Joe Algieri for this segment is Frankie Monogoras.
Oh my God! No! Listen, Russell Wilson is obviously better than Patrick Mahomes, but whatever. Everyone is on the Bengals except for Ray. He's on the Niners as well as the next game. He's insane, but he's taking the Cardinals with the 9 against the Ravens. Jeff, you and I are on the Bears. We believe. Yeah. And then it's a clean sweep for the Raiders to win on Monday night because all four of us.
Oh yeah,
Lions.
Yeah. Correct.
We ran a little late today. We ran a little late. Yeah. We ran a little bit over, but we can't leave without giving our fans our bold predictions. Billy, what's your bold prediction today?
My bold prediction is that Tyrod Taylor is going to go out and win a football game today, and there is going to be a lot more Daniel Jones talk for the next week, probably the next 2 weeks, because like we said, it's not going to be till week 10. But I'm going to stick by what I said earlier. The Giants are going to make the best decision for a winning season to try to have one. And I think Tyrod's going to go out and beat the Jets today.
Bold. Very bold, actually.
It was bold.
That is very bold.
Let's see how it plays out for him, Cotton.
Jeff, what do you got?
My bold prediction is that I think that our parlay is going to hit.
That's very bold.
My man.
That's very bold. That is very bold.
I looked at the a lot of the stats to this, and I think we're in good shape. I think we can do this. So that's my bold prediction.
You know what, Jeff? We're gonna play a little game. To everyone watching, in the comments, put your bold prediction. Okay? Put your bold prediction. If one of your predictions come true, we will send you a free Fired Up Sports t-shirt.
Yeah.
And you cannot reserve the right to change your mind on that prediction.
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot reserve the right.
It only works really for me. But yeah, it only works mainly on picks, not so much the predictions. Just picks. Which is
Jeff, you're not gonna.
a different type of prediction.
Jeff, you're not gonna like me, buddy, and I'm sorry. I think the traveling band show of the New England Patriots. I think they've started to figure out what to do with Mac Jones. He looked like a halfway decent quarterback.
A higher draft pick.
I mean, they looked like a halfway decent quarterback.
He looks good every few.
I called the upset last week. I'm calling it again this week. I'm going to say that the New England Patriots go into Miami and beat the Miami Dolphins.
Well,
just because I ordered my own, thank you. Just because next week I want to have you on full fraud alert.
No, if they lose to the fucking Patriots, I mean, Patriots are a terrible team. It's not like they're a good team. They lose against them. I don't think they're very good.
So they're not a fraud if they lose to the Patriots?
No, they have to. No, because that'll just be like, well, it is what it is. Like they're a bad team. So now everyone can be like, everyone keeps saying like, you guys, you destroy the bad teams, but you're losing to the good teams. All right, if you lose to the bad teams, then
Way to spin that line of bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah, way to spin that line of bullshit, because that's what
good one, Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, that's what that was. A whole lot of garbage. But ladies and gentlemen, week 8 is upon us. We are just a little bit under an hour to kick off time. Next week, we will be coming to you possibly live from a different day. We will confirm. We'll make sure that we post it on everything. Just a simple reminder that we will be on Twitch and YouTube exclusively moving forward effectively today. And
be on the lookout for we want to kind of do a Sunday football day at like Miller's or something. It'll be like a nice little outing. So be on the lookout for that. We're just trying to work on that right now.
Yeah, it's in the process. Guys, don't forget, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the website. And we thank you all for all your support. And have a good football Sunday, week 8.
All right. Week 8, boys. Let's go win some money.
Absolutely. Have a good one, everybody. Best of luck. And just remember, always reserve the right to change your mind.